Assalamu alaikum, my dear friends and fellows. How are you? I welcome you here on my training channel. My name is Abdul Khalik, my dear friends and fellows. All of us want to become a successful person. All of us want to become a happy person. And I think that becoming a successful and a happy person, that is the right of each and everyone else. So I think that we need to stay happy. We need to stay, we need to stay successful. And if at all we want to become a successful person, we have certain things to do, and we do have to avoid certain other things. Of course, there are do's and the don'ts of everything else. I think that as for the success in the life in general is concerned, there are certain do's and there are certain don'ts. We do have to avoid the don'ts, and we do have to do the do's. So that is how we will be able to make ourselves as a successful person, keep and retain ourselves as a successful person. This is so important indeed. I think that today we are not going to talk about what is needed to do, but of course we are going to talk about what we need to avoid, what we need to say goodbye. Maybe we do have all of these things, maybe we have few of these things. Whatever the situation, in my case, in your case, in our case, I think that we need to say goodbye to those things which are going to be talked about, which are going to be listed here. And although there are plenty and plenty and plenty of those things, but of course we are not going to talk about many of those, but only the six of these. We do have to say goodbye to the six of these things, because these all six because all of these six items are very very important to say goodbye. And if at all we fail to do that, obviously we will be suffering, we will suffer, and we will never be able to become a successful person. As far our today's talk is concerned, as for saying goodbye to these six items is concerned, this is only meant for those who want to become a successful person. First of all, what we need to do is that we need to say goodbye to procrastination. What is this procrastination? Failing to do the key things on time and keep deferring and delaying all that. That if it is the morning, we shall be found saying that I can do it in the evening. And if it is the evening, we shall say that way I can do it, I shall do it in tomorrow morning, and so on the next week and the next month. I think this procrastination must be stopped, and we should try to do on time. If at all something we are trying to do, we need to do is a bit difficult one. All what we can do is that we can break it into several parts. All what we need to do is, if at all something is difficult, we can break it into several parts, and then one part at a time. Like we take one morsel and we eat it, consume it, we chew it very well, and then we take the next morsel. In the same manner, we can divide, if at all something is unpleasant or difficult, and we can break it into several parts, either 6 or 16, whatever it is, then doing one thing at a time. And in this manner, of course we can do all that. So my dear friend, that was the number one thing we need to say goodbye, that is procrastination. The second is remaining in your comfort zone. It is the comfort zone, it is my comfort zone, your comfort zone, which does not allow us to somehow to become a successful person, to do the things which are difficult, which are unpleasant, which are boring. And we because with these things, because we want to avoid the boring and the difficult and the unpleasant thing. That is why we stay in the comfort zone. Ease loving person, we don't have to become an ease loving person at all. We don't have to stay focused on what we like, and staying away from what we don't like. I think what is needed here is that we need to do one thing, and that is, somehow or the other, it is extremely important that we do step out of the comfort zone. So that is the number two. As for the number three is concerned, that is, neglecting your physical health. We cannot afford to. Absolutely, absolutely. We cannot afford to neglect the physical health, because health is wealth, because health is everything else. Because health is everything else. Anybody who is healthy, I think they have got the number one thing, the best important thing. Nothing is as important as your health is concerned. So, neglecting the has physical health, that is extremely danger. That's very bad, very dangerous indeed. And we do have to say goodbye to this habit. We cannot afford to neglect our physical health. And now the fourth is isolation, isolating yourself from others. How come can I afford the isolation from other people? No one else can afford it either. I think that we need to stay well connected. We need to stay connected with other people for the sake of information, for the sake of knowledge, for the sake of any other thing. I think it is really, really important that we stay connected with other people. Staying connected with other people, that is more important than any other thing. I think never ever isolate yourself, because this isolation will actually destroy us. We are the social animal. We do have to stay connected, and we do have to build our network. Networking is very important. That is something totally different, totally opposite to the isolation. I think that we need to develop a network instead of getting isolated. And now the fifth thing, that was the fourth item, to stay goodbye. And now the fifth thing, that is that we need to stay goodbye. So importantly, the fifth thing which we need to say goodbye, that is overspending excessively. If at all we are excessively overspending, what is going to happen then? As a result of this, I think we will suffer, and we will suffer a lot. Never ever do that. Never ever overspend. Never ever overspend excessively, because doing that will put us into bankruptcy, and we will become a poor person. We don't have to become a poor person. We don't have to get bankrupt. And to be avoid to do all that, I think we need to avoid the excessive we need to avoid the excessive overspending. It is so much important. Rather, sometime we need to spend frugally. We need to be frugal enough with as for the financial matters are concerned. Now the sixth and the last is, that is rejecting criticism and feedback. Never ever reject the criticism, even if at all somebody is doing it with a bad motive, with the ulterior motive, with a bad intention. We don't have to neglect the criticism. We don't have to neglect the feedback from the other people. It is so important, so much important indeed. So my dear friends and fellows, it is really, really important that we do accept whatever criticism, either positive, even if at all it is negative. I think we should pay a bit of attention to that. Criticism is not bad at all. Criticism is very good, and feedback is very, very good. So why to ignore it? Why not to take advantage of it? If at all somebody is doing it with a bad intention, I think once they come to understand that because of my negative criticism, this person has got certain good points, and this person has improved their policy, I think they will be regretting a lot. So the best thing for me and for you and for all the people who want to become a successful person, never ever reject the criticism or the feedback, rather to learn from it, rather to take advantage out of that. So these are the six things I think that each one of us need to understand. All the people who want to become a happy people, all the people who want to become a successful people, we need to understand. We need to take advantage of it. Thank you very much.